This is a day of celebration, the day on which we celebrate extraordinary people all around us, ordinary people who are remarkable only in this, that they have the capacity to love to the extreme and the courage to do so. Of course, it is women we are celebrating today. We call them mothers. But not everyone who has gone through the biological function of giving birth has earned the right to be called a true mother. Likewise, there are many other women who have never seen the inside of a maternity ward, and yet by their lives of love are very much mothers to the world. The essence of motherhood is loving to the extreme, loving beyond the human limits of love. Perhaps no one expressed this better than a tiny, unremarkable 20th century woman who never gave birth to anyone, yet became mother to all the world's poor by discovering and living the secret of loving dangerously, loving outrageously, loving beyond the limits of political or common sense. It was she, Mother Teresa, who said, "I have found the paradox that if I love until it hurts, then there is no hurt, but only more love." Every mother can understand this. For the heart of a mother is the heart that the more it is wounded, the more it is broken, the more it loves. Our own lifetime has given us countless heroic models of this courageous, outrageous, foolish love, love that proved stronger than life and death itself. Perhaps we have seen it ourselves. Perhaps we have shown it ourselves. All of us have heard of it and have stood in awe before the supreme sacrifice of love. How well I remember the world being moved to shock and tears in December of 1980 as we heard the story of the American nuns selflessly laboring among the poor in El Salvador, and the almost unbelievable news that they had been brutally murdered by a death squad trained by and protected by our own government. Sister Maura and Sister Ita were Maryknoll sisters, Sister Dorothy an Ursuline, and Jean Donovan a Maryknoll lay missionary. They had given away everything and dedicated their lives to the poor of that country. This was not acceptable to the U.S.-backed military regime, and so they were to discover in a brutal way the truth of the prophetic words of Archbishop Oscar Romero. Those who work on the side of the poor suffer the same fate as the poor. Archbishop Romero himself had been assassinated in March of that year, also by a death squad armed, trained, and funded by our country. The sisters had seen the martyred archbishop's funeral, when government thugs attacked the mourners and killed another 30 people right there at the funeral. They saw their friends tortured and killed one after another. The sisters thought about leaving the country and giving up their service to the people to protect their own lives. They could not bring themselves to do that. "I almost could," wrote Jean in a letter, "except for the children, the poor, bruised victims of this insanity. Who would care for them? Whose heart could be so staunch as to favor the reasonable thing in a sea of their tears and loneliness. Not mine, dear friend, not mine. And so these sisters chose the unreasonable thing. They chose the motherly path. They chose to stay and continue loving. Ultimately, they chose love over life. What mother could do otherwise? On December 2nd, 1980, these brave sisters, with the motherly hearts, became the incarnation of the radical words of the Christ. This is my commandment. Love one another. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. It was unreasonable for these sisters to live and love so dangerously. It was unreasonable for the Son of God to accept death on a cross. It is unreasonable, foolish, outrageous to love as a mother loves. And it is precisely that precious, powerful, unreasonable mother's love which we celebrate and honor today. Thank you, mothers. Thank you, sisters. Thank you for showing us what it means to love.